Hey, what's going on, guys? Fico here, and today I have some official, unofficial news. The Wii U is dead. Dead. Well, unofficially, according to Review Tech USA, his friend Zach from LugoGaming, and actually the the site over at CinemaBlend is actually going as far as saying that it's officially dead. So this is going to be a pretty long video, so I want you to bear with me here, and I'd like you all to, first off, let me offer my sincere opinion before I talk about what Rich, Zach, and the folks at CinemaBlend talked about. I actually got 2 full index cards full of notes because they talked about a lot. So basically, what did they say? They said that what I think personally, first of all, is the Wii U has been on life support for quite some time. Ever since its launch, we've noticed that Nintendo hadn't been putting that much effort into it. They just seem to have kind of released this console just to make sure they get a console out before the competition. And personally, if they had just gotten the console around the time, maybe later after, we could have probably gotten a better console, but they decided to go first, and they figured, well, we'll ride on the success of the Wii, we'll offer a better version of the Wii, and we'll call it WiiU. Every conference, from time and time again, was talking about the gamepad. One actually specifically only talked about the gamepad. One was only just like a tech demo. We've never actually seen the console, which led people to think, is this a brand new console? Is this an add-on? But Nintendo's marketing department didn't figure to try to clean out the confusion, so well, they just kind of shot themselves on the foot, and now we are within half of a normal 5-year cycle here. I think it's about halfway through, and we've already heard that there is possibly an announcement next year of a new console. We'll get to that later, but me personally, I don't think that it's dead, but it's getting there. It's unofficially dead. It's being kept alive by price drops in certain games, specifically now Smash, especially with the FGC keeping it alive. This fighting game community is keeping this game alive. So let's go on and talk a little bit about what Rich and Zach talked about. Now, first off, neither of them go into saying that the Wii U is a terrible console. No, it's actually a really good console, and it's being, despite it, it's kind of like officially dying. They don't consider it a failure as a console, as a hardware, as a software. It's better. And apparently they go into saying that Nintendo had regretted that the original Wii wasn't in HD because they didn't foresee HD to be a big thing. And if that's true, then Nintendo are morons. Now, the games have been better. I mean, with Smash, Bayonetta, Mario Kart, it's no question the games aren't a problem. But they were talking about the hardware gimmicks being at the crux of Nintendo's approach. Talk about the hurt in which third-party support, they didn't provide any interest, because instead of being just a hardcore console, it was more like it's just a gimmick. So, you were using a tablet. Okay, so now we have to focus on designing games that can run and then making it compatible with this. It's just kind of third party. They didn't pique the interest. Now, of course, I'm talking about the Nintendo NX, which is the code name for that console that has been mentioned by Nintendo as something that they're going to announce next year in 2016, which is weird because I think they kind of just announced it. they're saying that there is a console down the road, which we will be talking about later. And you know, they it seemed to think that they have lost faith, just like me. They lost faith before launch because it embraced its first party development. They were just going to be like, oh, we're hardcore, we only care about the games that we're making and the fans of the games that are playing. But at the same time, when the Wii U was first revealed as a whole, the entire console, they were like announcing a whole bunch of third-party games, and we all know the story. There were older games, Arkham City, Mass Effect 3, games that have been out for a while that you can get on bargain bins now. You can get them on Steam and Origin for almost nothing. So clearly there is, you know, their third-party should have focused on games that haven't been out, but people had already had them. So what's the draw in getting them on the Wii U apart from a special thing that you could do with the controller? So no, they didn't embrace the competition according to them, and I agree. And they wanted third party to come to them. It was almost as if, you know, we're Nintendo and we're a big reason why you're big. So why don't you come over because you like OS? No, the Microsoft Xbox 360, Xbox One, and the PlayStation 3 and 4 have had games which have embraced third party. And even if they didn't have exclusive third-party games, and they do, but the thing is that they also embraced third parties. They didn't tell them that we don't need you. They didn't tell them that we don't want you. So, but they didn't go out. They didn't search. They didn't go to developers. They didn't go to publishers. They didn't try to woo them with the Wii U. It seems as though they were wooed at first, but they didn't keep the momentum going. So, and they talk about also how if the NX fails, then Nintendo might be done, and I agree. If Nintendo's next console does not succeed, this is the end of Nintendo. They're probably going to have to, or at least the end of them making hardware that is as a console. They're probably just going to have to start focusing just on making their consoles, portable consoles. They're probably just going to have to start going like, well, the 3DS is what's getting us ahead, so that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. And another thing they mentioned is how even if the third-party games have been brought and offered, they're gimped versions of them. They're like games that still run the same way that they've been running from day one, and nobody has done anything to fix them. And features that are on certain games are not there, and they offer less. So not only are you offering games that people already have, but they're offering games that you already have with less to offer, and they're hoping to sell you with the tablet gimmick. So, and how they caught up, how the Xbox One was already caught up. Now, the Wii U had a 1.5 year head start from the Xbox One, and the Xbox One has already caught up to it. That is saying something. The fact that the Xbox One, not even a year old, has already caught up to it, even with the bad press it garnered at the beginning, with those restrictions that they took away completely after that, it's impossible to ignore. You have to see this for what this is, Nintendo. They caught up to you because they took risks. And they embraced the third party, and they didn't shun anybody away, and they wooed people. They did the wooing, which you're not wooing. You're not wooing with your Wii. You're not wooing with your Wii U. You're not wooing anybody. You gotta woo people, and they don't woo. And talk about how pretty much all but third party is gone. Now, what they're going through is they're kind of sort of giving their opinions about the CinemaBlend article, but they're also giving their own perspectives on this. And trust me, I can't think of, for the life of me, of a single up-and-coming third-party game. Please correct me down in the comments below that's coming out for the Wii U that everyone's crazy and looking forward to. Most of the games, I mean, like 4 to 5 games are all first party, and they're spread even throughout a long release cycle, and Splatoon's coming out soon, but there are a couple of other first party games that are just coming out later. But where are the third ones? Where are the third party games? Every time I go to a store and I look at the Wii U category, I see it's pathetic. Almost nothing third party there. And if there is, it's probably in the used market bin because those were like the first games that came out and there's nothing there. Now, they they're talking about giving investors faith and delaying. They also talk about how Zelda got delayed. The Legend of Zelda, the game that was going to come out for the Wii U, had been delayed till next year. And the announcement for the NX is coming out on 2016, the same year that The Legend of Zelda is coming out as well. And this reeks of familiarity for those who remember. I don't know the exact history of The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, but as I understand it, it was going to be a GameCube game, and then it got delayed, and it became a Wii launch title. So I'm thinking they delayed the game to focus on designing The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess with the Wii U controllers, and then they came out with the GameCube version of it. So this sounds very familiar. And we'll talk about it later because the CinemaBlend actually has a theory about that. Now, it seems as though with the upcoming announcement and the delay, they're trying to get people to get excited about this. Obviously, Zelda's going to be available for the next console, the Nintendo NX. So they think maybe they're just trying to push Wii U down the toilet and they're trying to focus on this new console, which me and CinemaBlend agree it's actually a pretty good idea, but I'll tell you why later. Now, it's being kept alive, like I said, because of the price drop, but honestly, if it had better marketing and if it had more third-party games, and I've talked about this before, I have a video which I'm going to link down below. I'm going to try to remember to link that video down below about the Investigating True Gaming, talking about first-party and third-party games, which also introduce a bit of a case in which Nintendo kind of embraces first-party more than third-party. But if they had good third-party going in and kept it going, I'm pretty sure that we would be seeing a lot more games coming out, and we could have seen hope. We wouldn't be thinking, wow, the Wii U's finally dying. Not, oh my god, so that this mean that the Wii U is gonna go away? No, we're pretty sure it's going to go away sooner than later, but it's kind of just weird how it's, I mean, we've been just kind of wondering about, I mean, the console is great, but those who own it know they're not getting any games, so they have to bear with what they have on the moment. But the announcement of the NX hurts the sales of the Wii U as well, because if it comes out on 2016, they announce it that's coming out on 2016, then it's a good chance that could hurt the 5-year cycle for the Wii U. So it becomes a definitive failure. It would be nice if the Wii U could push a little forward, because we've got games that are coming out that are possibly going to be coming out for next year. I don't know how E3 is going to be this year. We'll talk a little bit more about that later, but the fact that they're under the assumption, like Rich and Zach, they figured if they release this on 2017, the Wii U could actually have a last bit of good coming out of it, a last bit of good push for it. They could price drop it again and bundle it with games and make it like the best possible Wii U bundle that you could ever get. And that could actually help. That could actually help you a lot. That's just my opinion. But another thing that they talk about, this is the last thing that they talk about, is that Nintendo, they got very arrogant. And they brought up how the new 3DS XL had only just specific exclusives, and they're sort of like alienating the people who own a 3DS. They now have to get a new 3DS XL. They figure, oh, we're going to add this game only to this. And we know for sure that they're going to get it. We know for sure. We're sure of this because they always do. We're Nintendo. And like I said, they expected third parties to come to them because, you know, they were at first, you know, offering third parties for everybody. And, well, they figured, oh, Nintendo has helped mold us. But no, those days are gone. And Rich said that those days are gone. You have to go to people now and give them a reason to put your game in your console. You can't expect that just because you're Nintendo, that the companies that you were supporting before are going to be there for you, because it's an investment. It's an investment for them to put their games in your console. If they see a sinking ship, they're not going to halt development on other games so that they can make the Nintendo Wii U version of their game or a completely different other game. They're not going to do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it anymore. Now games are risky to get out of the door, and they have to figure that if nobody wants the Wii U, well, then we're not going to bother. But Nintendo thinks, oh, no, they'll come. They will come. So they also mentioned how the Wii was the 5th highest selling console of all time, and they figured that that was enough, and the success of the previous console was going to ride this out. Now, if people think that it's an upgrade and it's not a brand new console, then they don't need to get a new Wii to play with. Even though you did mention that it was new, but you didn't push this hard enough. Me personally, I was confused because every time you guys talked about it on E3, except until the time that you guys announced when it was coming out, when you actually showed us the console, I was just like, but wait, is the Wii U the gamepad itself? Where's the console? Is it a new console? You guys aren't saying anything. So is this just not something? I was expecting a new console, but you guys weren't saying it. So what are you guys doing? But they got very, very arrogant. They didn't even admit mistakes done. They were always saying, oh, we're okay, we're totally good. So with all of these mistakes, not getting better in the marketing, not pushing for third party, they're still not doing that. So honestly, with focusing on other things now in other areas that is not the Wii U, it is clear that Nintendo, and I've predicted this, and I've even said this in videos, that Nintendo, I honestly do think they just want this console to go away. But now I think that people are getting the little tidbit of dropping the NX name and saying that, hey, there's a new console that we're announcing for next year. Not coming out for next year, but we're announcing it next year. Hold on to your butts. So, are Nintendo purposely burying themselves? Who knows? And of course, we'll go to the points in the CinemaBlend article, which they announced the Wii U officially dead because of the delay of the Legend of Zelda game for 2016. And they don't expect Nintendo to come out with any big announcements that is going to have to do with the Wii U, except maybe just halting development for it. They don't see Nintendo pushing any more games beyond the ones that they already have. And they also say, they're the ones that said that there was pretty much no effort to push this console out. There was no third party or focus on third party. It was very gimmicky, and they expected that the Wii would carry the success of this console, but they didn't do anything to push the Wii U. So, in fact, they also did I talked about the Wii that they got out later, the basic one, the even basic year one, like the top-down one. I forgot. I erased that one from my mind. I didn't even remember. Now, they came also with the announcement of the game of the NX that's coming out. That they're going to be coming out with the announcement for 2016. I keep saying it wrong. It's like they're not announcing that the console's going to come out next year. There's a good chance that it's not, but they're saying that next year expect us to announce a brand new console. And with that, what else is coming out for Nintendo? They've got 5 games over the span of the year, which is Splatoon, Yoshi's Woolly World, Mario Maker, a Star Fox game that was kind of hinted by Shigeru Miyamoto, and Xenoblade Chronicles X. And it was going to get Zelda, but now apparently CinemaBlend has a theory that either they're spreading their lineup so that it could be offering throughout the year, but that their lineup is already thin. How do you spread 5 games throughout an entire year? What else is there for the Wii U? Or, like I said before, that they may have been pushing it so that they're working and developing it for the NX, so that they have an NX title to push on. They have an NX title like Zelda, it would sell. With the NX having the Legend of Zelda, the next gen Legend of Zelda, it will shatter Wii U's sales, I think within the first month. Guaranteed. Because the promise of a better console with an actual Zelda game, that will make it sell. So far, I don't know how many Wii U's have been sold in total, but I guarantee you, within the first month or two, the NX with Legend of Zelda will outsell the Wii U, period. Nobody will even get the Wii U version of it. That's even if it's coming out. And will I be surprised that the Wii U version won't come out and they'll only offer it for the NX? Of course I won't be surprised, because like I said, they didn't have the GameCube version of this game, of the Twilight Princess, and it only offered it for the Wii, and then later they released it. So they'll just probably do that. They'll go, we'll release this game for the NX, and then if people enough want it, we'll give it for them for the Wii U, because not everybody has what they can afford to get a new console. But Nintendo, I think, definitely wants to push this. And with this coming in 2016, we are in 2015, and E3 has not passed. So what exactly is Nintendo going to do if they can't show the NX because they're not announcing it? I mean, they kind of already did. They announced that an announcement was going to come out in 2016 about a console called the NX. So they announced the NX, but they didn't announce it, so they're going to announce it the next year. So they can't talk about it because there's nothing to talk about. They want you to wait till next year. So, and Zelda's not going to be there. So if we don't see Zelda in E3, that kind of, I think, will confirm that there's no development happening for it on the Wii U, even though we've already seen things about it already, little tidbits, little bits and pieces of it. So we'll just have to see. But honestly, what could they show besides regurgitating the same games that they've been showing us? Well, we could get 1 or 2 or 3 other games coming out, but honestly, I do think that the Nintendo 3DS XL and the mobile gaming portion of Nintendo that they also recently announced that they were going to start embracing is going to be what's going to be dominating E3 2015. Because if they don't care about the Wii U and they just release a new version of the 3DS, and they're going to have to push games that are exclusive for the console, because there's only one. I haven't heard of any others, but there's only one exclusive. You can play all the others on the 3DS. So what is it? What are we going to get? Well, they're probably going to start pushing the mobile gaming aspect of it. How is it that Nintendo's embracing this new model? What are they doing? What devices are going to be offered? Which games are going to be offered? We'll see. And I'm pretty sure there's not going to be a conference, because they're going to save that for next year. Promise, guarantee you that this 2016 announcement probably be at E3. That's their coming out party. That is how they do it. If they don't do that, if they don't go to E3, they don't physically show up there and host a conference to bring out the NX with the Legend of Zelda, then I'm ashamed of them. Seriously. And last but not least, CinemaBlend offers a theory of how it could work, and how the Wii U dying could be really good for the NX, because they could push this new console, they could push it hard, and with the lessons that I hope that everyone there learned about not making assumptions and not being arrogant and not riding on the success of a previous console, I hope that they've learned their lessons and they could start pushing for a new console, embracing the new, embracing the better, embracing new things. With the Nintendo NX, they can start officially focusing exclusively on that. And of course, they talk about how the Wii U is a good afterlife console. Once you might actually get bigger success on the Wii U, because when the NX comes out, they're probably just going to just drop the Wii U down to a ridiculous price. And because you could already play all of your Wii games and all of your Wii devices all work with the Wii U, you could offer a really nice bundle, or you could just slash your prices of all of your games, and the Wii U could be a lot more affordable, and believe it or not, you might actually get good sales of it with those prices. So that's it. That's the video. It's going to the 30-minute mark. But now here's the part of the video where I ask you guys what you think. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that I'm full of it? Do you guys think Rich and Zach are full of it? Do you think CinemaBlend's full of it? Or if you take all of these factors plus everything that you know about the Wii U and the track record that Nintendo has had over the last couple of months, do you think honestly in your heart that they are going to start caring about the Wii U after they're teasing you with a new NX console? But if you guys have a different theory, let me know. Let me know down below. Nintendo hardcore fans need to understand that this isn't a bad thing. The Wii U dying is not a bad thing. It's not. The NX hopefully will be a much better console, and if they push it as a new console, they are already doing something better than they did with the Wii U. And if they make it incredible, and the games will look even better, and the games will still feel as familiar, but with a push to a next gen. I mean, they did push graphically much higher than they have, but they can do better. But the games are still fun, and that's all what Nintendo's all about. Nintendo's about offering games that are fun, but Nintendo needs to learn. Embrace the third party, keep people faithful with the first party, keep pushing innovations, and try to make it not so gimmicky with hardware. Try to just make a solid, good console. Get to that, and I'm sure that you guys are going to be okay. And with that, I will end the video. What do you guys think? I'm gonna leave the link to Rich's video, the CinemaBlend article, and I'm also gonna leave, like I said, the link to my Investigating True Gaming talking about first and third parties. You guys can go there, watch it, leave opinions over there. Let me know what you guys think, and as always, thank you so much for watching and listening. My name is Fico, and that was my gaming mind. Peace out, everybody.